at American University, we will be having our 6th annual entrepreneurship conference under the theme of accelerating entrepreneurship, diaspora entrepreneurship for Africa's growth. And why that theme? Essentially, we find that there are thousands of us from Africa who are in the US and other Western countries, very successful, from PhD holders all the way down to nurses. And, but one of the things that we found that was lacking is we're not giving back. We're not giving back in terms of knowledge transfer. Many times people might say we don't have the money because all the bills are taking all the money that we're earning. But what about knowledge transfer? That, to me, is really the background under which we are holding this conference, so that those who are in business or those who are aspiring to go into business in this country, or they're already doing it, how do they start transferring that knowledge to uplift our continent? Because a lot is happening in the continent right now, but who are the people who are benefiting now? It's not the Africans. It is everybody else. So that is where we, the Africans in the diaspora, need to step up. We need to start looking at ourselves and ask, how do we come together and raise some serious investment dollars so that we can go do some of those projects that outsiders are doing? How do we start going into our government and lobbying them to start supporting the diaspora? Because every time these African presidents come into the US, for example, and they meet with the diaspora, they're always encouraging them, come back home, do business back home. But the policies they have in place are not supporting the diaspora who want to do business. But we can actually make a difference if we start coming together in a conference like what's happening on Saturday the 14th. Our keynote speaker is the African Union Ambassador, Dr. Arikana Chihambori Ko. She's going to be the opening keynote. We have another speaker from the Save Kids Worldwide, Toreen Brooks-Krippy. And finally, the closing remarks will be done by Minister Suzuki from the Japanese Embassy in light of the conference they had in Africa around business last year. All of this is tied to let us get the knowledge. And once we have the knowledge, and if we've succeeded here, let's start asking ourselves, how do we transfer this to make a difference? Or in a case like in Startup Africa, where we're working with young people, how can we start mentoring our young people? Because if we say we're not going back, or we're not going to start businesses there because we are scared of risk, how do we start looking back and uplifting other people? Because if we do that, then we'll start seeing the Africa that we want, other than complaining all the time about the politicians and what they're not doing.